intellect and feelings is through the use of a key word. For example, the word is sink. Now, when you tell me what a sink is, such as the kitchen sink, then you use your intellect. You might say that a sink is a place where you wash your dishes, pots, pans, and your hands. Whatever a sink is to you, that's perfectly all right. Now, when I ask you for an experience with the sink, you will automatically be sharing your feelings, your experiences. You may recall a time when you forgot the water was on and the sink overflowed. You may remember a time when you had to clean the sink when you were young. When you share what the word means to you, that comes from your intellect. When you share an experience with the word, that comes from your feelings. When you have a balance between your thoughts and feelings, you will live in a true spiritual security. You'll have an understanding for your experiences and an experience for what you understand. Remember, thoughts, ideas, and theories all belong to your intellect. Action, involvement, doing, accomplishment, those all belong to your feelings. Try this simple technique. Think of 5 household items. Write down a definition for each one, and remember, whatever it means to you is perfect. Your interpretation of something is what is best for you. Then, think of an experience you had with each one. When you write down your experiences, take a moment to see how those experiences have helped you. What did you learn about yourself from those experiences? People who become highly organized in their intellect can become out of balance. Now, this is a person with a lot of ideas who thinks he knows, but he really does not know. This is because he has left out his feelings. He becomes a puppet, a usable instrument for other people who will take his ideas and make them work. He cannot make them work for himself. You need to prove everything to him if you want him to agree, and the big thinkers are in the majority in society. They tend to analyze and dissect everything. This is the dreamer with a lot of ideas, the person who does not have his feelings involved with his ideas. If he's not careful, everything he does becomes an escape, including his ideas. Now, the feeling part of you is like the bank. It's where the money and the energy is. You can have a tremendously organized mind, but if your feelings do not acknowledge them, you are just a wishful thinker. Your plans will not work because you left yourself out. And anytime you leave yourself out, your true feelings are not involved, and you are operating from your intellect. You are working on the emotions, which are not your true feelings. When you achieve a balance, you are more sensitive to the joy of things. You have the feeling of enjoying every part of your life. Later in this program, we'll talk about PMM group work. Essentially, each week you experience simple techniques to help you build your feeling nature. The more you are aware of your feelings and how beautiful they are, the greater you trust. A lot of people learn early in life that feelings hurt. So, to keep themselves from hurting, they keep themselves from feeling. It is important to find out if the feelings you have around you are your own, because all your thoughts come from your feeling nature. Try this technique. Go for a short walk. Just notice the feelings that you have. Don't think your way through the walk. Just walk and notice what you experience. Practice taking deep breaths along the way and just feel. Feel the grass beneath your feet or the pavement. Feel the wind or the breeze. Touch something along the way. If it is near the beach, touch the sand or the water. Notice the feelings that you experience. Jot down a couple of notes for yourself. What did you learn from your experience? You know, life is pretty easy to understand, but sometimes living it the way we really want can create quite a challenge. Sometimes we think we should have more than we do, or that people should treat us nicer than they do. And pretty soon we begin to think that life owes us a living. We feel cheated out of something and feel that other people are responsible for whatever we are experiencing. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever blamed other people for the situation in which you are involved? This is a common experience shared by all. You might call this an emotional reaction to life. It is really important to understand the difference between your emotions and your true feelings. Your emotions are the feelings you picked up in the first 7 years of your life. They are programmed reactions or responses to life. As a soul, you are very sensitive. That means that you have the ability to pick up feelings and impressions in your environment. In the first 7 years of your life, you were literally a sponge of feelings, absorbing everything around you. A lot of these feelings were not yours. When you pick up other people's feelings, they cannot stay with you because you are your feelings. So, they become part of your intellect. Now, this is how emotions are formed. Then, when you encounter a situation that reminds you of your past, you react much in the same way as you have before. You react with emotional feelings rather than with your true feelings. Here's a good example. Let's say that you were riding your tricycle around when you were about 4 or 5 years old and bumped into the back of Daddy's heel. He glares at you and says, "Why don't you watch where you're going?" Imagine the feelings that you'd have at that time. You would either feel guilty or you would want to collaborate. Well, since you're so small, you repress the idea to collaborate with him, but when you're 21 and you bump into someone's grocery basket in the store and they yell, "Why don't you watch out where you're going?" Well, you might have the same reaction as you did when you were 4. Emotions are feelings you've learned to feel. They are usually a symptom of not being relaxed. When you are relaxed, you share from your true feelings, the cool, calm, collected you. The you that cares about people. The you that is concerned about clear communication. There's nothing wrong with emotions. They're part of your intellect. The key is to make sure that they are working for you, not against you. Through PMM, you will be able to discern what feelings belong to you and what feelings belong to someone else. Then you won't have to deal with emotional responses, but rather with your true feelings. You can move through life